Hello, welcome to day 32 of 99 Days of Deeper Embodiment. My name is Jason King. Thank you for joining this live stream. Thank you for joining me watching this 99-day series. Oh my God, 99 days is a lot. Um, Let me just wait for some people to join. Let's see if anyone joins. I'm a little bit late today, 10:27 a.m. I overslept a bit. I moved from the place that I was staying at yesterday into a hotel today in Sedona area because some of my friends had to leave at that point. And so now I'm staying in a hotel with one friend, and it's really beautiful because we have a nice view. So I'm on the balcony at the moment. It's super fun. Ooh. So yesterday I spoke about how embodiment begins to accelerate our ability to see a thought, recognize a thought, and drop it, surrender it fully and completely into the self, into what is, into spirit, into consciousness, into silence, into awareness. So the deeper embodied, the easier it is to do this at any point in time. And yet, there's still some thoughts that want to move through us, even in a more deeply embodied state, and those thoughts are fun. And so we choose to move with those because there's more excitement around it, more expansion around it. And so it can kind of look like at a certain point that we're replacing thoughts with thoughts. So it's kind of like, okay, well, yeah, there's a thought here that says that nobody loves me. Okay, I see that. Yeah, there's that thought. I see that thought. And so, yeah, I can be with that thought. I can meet that thought. I can feel that thought. Nobody loves me. Now, the tricky part is that if I get really clear, then, good morning, Aiden. Good morning. If I get really clear, then I'll see that if I'm focusing really intently on that thought, then I'm not actually dropping that thought. I'm focusing intently on it. So I'm actually adding to that thought. I'm making that thought more powerful. So nobody loves me, nobody loves me, nobody loves me. That's the thought I'm focused on, right? So dropping the thought is to not focus on the thought. It's to recognize that the thought is there, to feel that the thought is there, to feel the feelings and the emotions around the thought, and to just let it be. and focus on something else, right? So the focus on the something else part is where we focus on whatever feels more fun. So it's likely more fun to focus on, oh well, yeah, I am loved by everything. I am loved by all. I am love itself. And so rather than focusing on the thought that says, nobody loves me, then I can shift and focus on a thought that says, I am loved by all, I am love itself, and move with that thought. And then all the thoughts that say, nobody loves me, they begin to come up. I feel them all, and then they dissolve. And so here is a very efficient way to evolve, efficient way to embody in the sense of empowered embodiment. Because if I am taking the responsibility to choose the thought that I'm focusing on, and I'm saying, oh, wow, yeah, there is a thought there that says that nobody loves me. And so I'm going to shift my focus to a thought that says, I am loved by all. I am love itself. And I'm going to feel all of the thoughts that say, nobody loves me as they come up. Because that's what happens when I shift my focus to the opposite. Because there's a duality within the thoughts, right? So one of the reasons why there's so many thoughts that say nobody loves me is because we haven't given them the space to be felt. And we haven't given them the space to be felt because they feel prickly. They don't feel good. It doesn't feel good to feel that thought. So then instead of actually feeling it, the focus is placed on it through distracting oneself. So distraction is an interesting thing. It's like, okay, yeah, there is a thought here. I don't want to go into it. I don't want to actually feel it. So let me distract myself with work. Let me distract myself with some form of habit. Let me distract myself with something else, anything other than feeling this thought. And in distracting myself, I'm actually bringing more and more focus to that thought because I'm avoiding it. So this is the way that avoidance works. If I'm avoiding it, then I'm not with the feeling. I'm not with the felt sense of that idea, and so that idea sticks around. It doesn't have anywhere to go. It needs to be felt for it to go, for me to pop out of that limiting idea or belief. So when I started doing practices for embodiment, then I started with mantras. And the mantras I would create, and I still do this to some degree when it feels right, when it feels useful, when it feels supportive. However, like at a certain point, once you've cleared enough within you, then it's not really needed anymore. There's enough awareness, enough consciousness in the body to move through the body without having to do specific mantra practices like this. However, when the body's very full of ideas, it's very useful to do a mantra practice. And the mantra practice could be something like, I am loved by all. I am love itself. I am. I am loved by all. I am loved itself. I am. And so the idea would be to have ideas put together that would go through and they start to dredge all of the ideas that are not aligned with that idea. So I focus only on the ideas I am loved by all. I am love itself. I am. And so then I put this into some sort of a container of practice so that it becomes very powerful by creating an ally of myself that completes that container. You see? So I can say, okay, I'm going to do this for 40 days, 5 minutes a day for the next 40 days. Then I make that commitment to myself and then I complete that. When I make that commitment, then I have created for myself a future version of myself that has completed that commitment. And so during that 40 days, as I'm doing that commitment, every single idea that I've ever believed begins to come up that is not in alignment with the idea that I'm focused on. So if the idea that I'm focused on is this example of I am love itself, I am loved by all, I am, then all the ideas that I believed that said the opposite of that, they begin to come up. I begin to feel them, process them through the body, and then I pop out of those beliefs. You see, because on a linear timeline, the ideas are stored in the body as memory, and the memory says, "Oh, I wasn't loved. I wasn't loved by mom. I wasn't loved by this person." And then there's a belief there. The belief is that nobody loves me. And so I want to be able to get at that belief. I want to be able to get under the surface, into my subconscious, pull those beliefs up, and then dissolve them because they weren't able to be felt by me or by a version of me when that memory occurred. And then once I can feel that all the way through, that charge dissolves. And when that charge dissolves, then I have cleared that from my body. And so I am now deeper embodied. Maya says, thank you. Oh, thank you, Maya. It's really good to see you here. I know I was a little late today, and the half an hour means a lot to you because you're in South Africa. So I just wanted to mention that. I am feeling you. And 10 o'clock is the target for me at this point, which is my time. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so I hope this is clear, that this is starting to make sense, like what we're actually doing here. So yesterday I spoke a lot about like the beginning stages of awakening, which for me were like, oh my God, I'm doing something that is hurting me, and this is painful, and I don't want to do this anymore. Right? So that was the beginning stage for me. It's like, oh, I'm doing something that's really painful to me. It's hurting others. I'm not able to function in society because of it. And, I want to get down to the bottom of this. Like, what is going on? And so that began to open the door. The pain began to open the door. And as I began to see the pain and recognize it, then I began to realize, oh my God, this is all things that I've believed. I have believed these things about myself. These traumas are within me. They don't have anything to do with anyone else. They're within me. And in order for me to begin to have freedom from these ideas, to be free of the painful looping that these ideas are creating in my life, then I need to begin to surrender them and replace them with something that actually serves me. So we can call it a process of deconditioning, and at an early stage reconditioning. It's like, okay, I want to decondition my mind of these conditioned beliefs, and I want to recondition my mind with beliefs that actually serve me. So more expansive, more playful, more light ideas. And if you notice, if you get really, really clear, you'll see that everyone around you is asking you to condition yourself to something, to some idea, to some belief. It's always an invitation. It's an invitation to condition yourself to actually believe in a belief or a system of beliefs. And this is helpful because it gives us the ability to have experiences with each other, right? If we didn't have a system of beliefs to agree on, to play with, then we wouldn't have the experience of a reality together. So we need a place to meet where there is an agreement. There is a system of beliefs that we're agreeing on, where our perspectives can meet with each other. The question at this point for everyone is, what do I want to believe? Does it serve my own evolution? Does it serve my own embodiment? And so this is now putting you into the driver's seat, saying, hey, I don't have to believe anything at all. There is no belief that pops up that I actually have to believe, because I am awareness itself. I am seeing what is. And so I actually can drop any belief at any moment, at any point. And I don't have to believe it. So now the question is, does the belief actually serve my own evolution, my own embodiment? Is it helpful? This is a really important gauge, right? Is it helpful for you to continue believing that you are wounded or that you are sick? Is that helpful? Okay, so we can probably agree that that's not. Maybe it is. Maybe there's a part of you that really wants that experience, and that's okay. That is totally okay. However, if you are now waking up to the reality that you have the ability to shift out of that experience if you want, then in recognizing that, it may now be more fun to pick up a different idea. An idea that says, oh, I do have the power to shift out of trauma. I do have the power to dissolve trauma within me. I do have the power to drop labels and identities of mental illness. I do have the power to self-heal, to self-correct. And so these are ideas that can be helpful. It's like, okay, yeah, I've had ideas all this time that I don't have the power to heal myself, that I need medicine to do it. Okay, wonderful. That's an idea. It is a belief. We see it. It's there. Okay, now in my own evolution, would it be helpful for me to pop through that limiting belief now? And let me feel that. Am I ready to pop through that limiting belief, or is there too much charges around it? Ooh, let me feel. Oh, wow, there's a lot of charges around that one. Okay, maybe not yet. Maybe baby steps. Maybe we go a little gradually. Maybe we take it slow around that one. And that's okay. There's no need to rush, you see. Because if we go from really limited and a highly structured mind with a lot of social conditioning to nothing at all in one swoop, then that's a lot to feel. It's a lot of pain. It's like, whoop 'em. Okay, yeah, I'll try to feel that all at once. It's going to tear my body apart. Tear everything apart. So maybe baby steps, maybe a little bit slower. Like, where do we want to go with this? Let's ask ourselves that. Where do we want to go with this? What feels good? What feels playful? What feels, really resonant with the heart? Does it feel resonant with the heart to have clearer relationships? Does it feel resonant with the heart to have relationships where we can speak about emotions freely, and where we're clear about what we're meeting and what we're processing one with another? Does that feel resonant with the heart? Okay, then we can move towards those explorations. We don't have to go from human being in a body to someone flying away in a stream of light all at once. No, that doesn't need to be. We can do baby steps because time is infinite. And it's not linear either. So let's just relax into this a bit more, into this a bit deeper. There's no pressure here whatsoever. This is all a game for you. All of life is this. Allowing you to have explorations, allowing you to have experiences. Because It's fun. That's why. There's no other reason. And if we try to get another reason, then the mind is just playing games with us too. That's more games. Okay. And those can get really stressful. So the simplest reason, to have fun, is the most um, the closest to really what is. And I say close because it's an approximation, because I'm putting it into words, because really there's no way to put it into words because it's a mystery. But fun, enjoyment brings the vibration. It brings that feeling, okay, of wholeness and completeness. I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to relate with people. I'm here to be excited and to share in community, and to share one with another, and to really enjoy these reflections in love. And so, how do we get from there to here? Embodiment. That's how we get there. That's how we get there. And not just embodiment individually, but embodiment in groups, where we become savvy at speaking about it, where we become savvy at exactly why we're doing it, what we're actually doing, and how to go about it. And this is where it hasn't been done well on this planet. There hasn't been a lot of really good, um, really clear understanding around it, where it can be spoken about fluidly without getting caught in a lot of ideas around it, without getting caught in spiritual ideas, without getting caught in emotional charges, without getting caught in projection. And so there's been a lot of people that have attempted to speak about it, that have attempted to teach it at various different levels and stages of the expansion of consciousness. But anytime that it's been spoken about, it's been really brought down to the lowest common denominator to a degree within that group structure, because that's where it always goes. And there's not a bad thing around that. There's no judgment around that either, because we are all together. There is only oneness. So it's going to be the lowest common denominator always. Where the most pain is where the focus goes. That's where it goes. Okay. So this is something that is important for us to recognize as well. It's like, if we think that we're splitting from the rest of us, then there's a lot of denial there. There's a lot of denial of collective pain, of collective trauma that's not really being seen, felt, or recognized. So that's an imagination. That is a fantasy. There's no way to split the whole of us. We have to be with it, feel it, recognize it. Otherwise, again, where the most pain is where the focus is going to go. So I'm speaking about this as far as working with a group process, and groups can be as large as the entire planetary collective. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Alex. So this is something to really feel into when it has to do with the pain around vaccinations. This is something that came up in an earlier video where I spoke about trauma related to it. How going into the child and feeling the trauma related to this experience as a child, and really just being with that, because there is a lot of pain around it, and that pain around it shows up it's showing up in the collective very strongly right now with fear around vaccination related to COVID. And ideas that say that the vaccination is something terrible or it's something horrible. Who knows? Honestly, it's really unimportant. It's unimportant, all of those ideas. What is important is that we get to the root of what we're feeling around it. And so then as we can get to the root of what we're feeling around it, then we can see the beliefs that we're having around it. Then we can become more sovereign in our ability to really hold a frequency of love around it, a frequency of acceptance around it. It's like, okay, yeah, I can be with you when you're afraid of what's going through the society. I can be with you when you're feeling a lot of panic and fear. I can feel that with you rather than fully dismissing it, denying it, pretending that it isn't. And then the clearer we can feel that one with another, the more we can dissolve ideas of panic around anything that shows up. And as we dissolve those ideas of panic around anything that shows up, then we step into our self healing ability. Because this is where it is. When you can sit with anything and dissolve the panic and the fear around it, then you have stepped into your creatorship as a self healer. And so you'll see a lot going back and forth right now on the internet, on social media, within the collective, as far as fearful ideas around the vaccine that has showed up. And those fearful ideas, if you feel them, they're very fearful. There's a lot of panic around it. Like, oh my God, you're gonna force me to get an injection, and then this is gonna happen, and then this is gonna happen, and then oh my God, it's the end of the world. We just dropped off to the end of the world there. Oh yes, and I feel that with you. There's a lot of fear there. There's a lot of panic. Oh man, the end of the world is a really scary thing. We've all seen Armageddon and a whole lot of movies like it because it's a whole genre. From my perspective, I have no fear around the vaccine. Do I feel the need or the pull to have a vaccine myself? No, because at the same time, I have no fear around COVID. You see how that works? So it's kind of funny. It goes both ways. Yeah. So I feel like that's all that needs to be spoken about today because there's a lot here that is coming up, a lot to be felt here. So let's just take a moment and begin to feel that together. Just be with these sensations, allow them. Touch the wholeness that you always are. Feel the completeness that you always are. As I hold the space with you. Beautiful. I'm feeling the heart resonance and coherence that we are touching in this space through this 99 days. And it's really, really amazing. So thank you for tuning in. Also, I am open to holding sessions where I am speaking to one or more people through this space. So there is a studio environment on the streaming. So if you are interested in joining me on one of these 99 days so that we can dive in deeper together, then that feels fun. So let me know. Message me and let me know so that we can schedule that. So thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow for day 33. Bye bye now.